Vanakkam, Namaste, greetings to all. We gather here to conduct a powerful meditation for world peace, harmony, unity, peace of mind, and overall health and well-being in the world. I am pleased to mention that we have achieved 1,183 days of meditation. Currently, we are meditating 3 meditation sessions a day, including talks that hold educational value for many people. These sessions take place every day at following UK timings 9:30 a.m., 11 a.m., and 8 p.m. We are grateful to all those who have contributed to this achievement, including Meditation for World Peace and Harmony Forum, PSSM Tamil Europe, PSSM Global, and participants who joined in these sessions. Today's session will begin with 30 minutes of meditation accompanied by calming music. After that, our guest speaker, Harish Davda, will deliver a talk on the topic meditation, creativity, and consciousness. Following Harish Davda's master's talk, there will be a question and answer and discussion session will take place. Now I invite Arundhati Master to conduct the meditation. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Greetings to all. The purpose of meditation is to train our mind and to use it effectively and efficiently in our daily life. Meditation can help us to get rid of tension and to find relaxation. Meditation can calm and help us to find peace of mind. It doesn't require a specific spiritual belief. Anyone can practice meditation. It is very easy to practice. One needs to be mindful of our natural breath. Breathing should be natural. Just breathe in and out. When we are with our breath, our mind becomes empty. Once our mind becomes empty, the cosmic energy starts entering into our body. Then our performance level will increase and we will be able to deal with any situation in our life efficiently. Now we will get into meditation. Take any comfortable posture, sit comfortably and cross your feet like that. Interlock your fingers like this and place it on your lap. Gently close your eyes and observe your normal, natural breathing. Before meditation, is anybody wearing spectacles? Please remove it. When you sit comfortably, close your eyes, interlock your fingers, and cross your feet, and start observing your normal, natural breathing. Whenever thoughts appears, please come back to your normal, natural breathing. There will be a calming music to relax your mind. Thank you. Masters, final 5 seconds. Please come back to your normal awareness. Unlock your fingers and place your palm on your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now remove your hands and look inside your palm, and we will thank the universe by clapping our hands. Thank you for the wonderful meditation we done today. Thank you. We thank everyone who took part in our joint meditation today, focusing on peace of mind, psychological healing, and for the world peace and harmony with the blessings of the cosmic power. When we meditate jointly, it helps to generate a social force in the form of oneness that spreads across all nations around the world to promote peace, harmony, and in general well-being to everyone around the world. We thank Nandini Master for providing calming music for the meditation today. We would also like to thank PSSM Tamil Europe, PMC TV, which is part of our PSSM Global. May the whole world be blessed with peace, harmony, prosperity, and well-being. Valga Vaiyagam, Valga Valamudan. Now, Sri Kantaraja Master will introduce our guest speaker today. Thank you.
Thank you. Greetings to everyone. I am delighted to introduce Harish Davda Master to our forum today. Harish is a seasoned meditator with over 30 years of experience. He is also a meditation teacher and leads a group in beautiful Isle of Skye, Scotland. Harish has previously spoken to this forum several times, sharing his valuable insights. In addition to his work in meditation, he has a background in Commedia, having taught management at a business school in London. He has also delivered training in various management subjects across the UK and the Middle East. Currently, Harish resides in Isle of Skye with his wife. In his spare time, he enjoys walking, photography, and cooking exotic vegetarian dishes. Today's topic is meditation, creativity, and consciousness, his personal view. Harish, now the platform is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Raja, for inviting me again. It's lovely to be here. I enjoy the meditation. Wonderful music. I just wanted to make sure that you can all hear me. Can you just put your hand up if you can hear me? If not, I can adjust my volume here. Okay, so you can all hear me. Okay. If you can't at any time during my presentation, please raise your hand, and I can then fiddle with my laptop and make sure that the volume is right for everybody. All right. I'd like to. Okay, so the topic is meditation, creativity, and consciousness, and I will try and show the connection between the three. The first thing I'd like to say is that we can all do these three things. We can all meditate, and I'm really very, very happy to hear that many of you, perhaps all of you, have been meditating for more than 1,000 days, which is amazing. I remember I was here when Mr. Raja invited me, because I think you were celebrating 100 days or something. And what a huge leap into being meditators, and I can recognize many faces. What an achievement to have been meditating for more than 1,000 days. I look forward to coming back when you've reached the target, or milestone rather, milestone of 2,000 days. Really looking forward to that. It doesn't matter where I am. My wife and I, we travel quite a lot. So it doesn't matter where I am. I will certainly join you. Okay, so let's start with meditation, and then we can see how we connect meditation with creativity and consciousness. So when we get used to meditation, it gets easier. Often people come to me, people who are new to meditation, and say that, "Oh, I can't meditate because my mind is full of thoughts and I just can't sit still." And I say to them that this is quite normal. And um, to begin with, a simple method, I'm sure you all know this. We're just recapping some of the things here, which I hope you would find useful. That it's just closing the eyes and concentrating on breathing and background music, if it's relevant. Um, I'd like to go a little bit deeper and say that while we are meditating, I mean, I find it very, very useful, is to observe the thoughts. Initially, it's quite difficult because uh, it's quite easy to dwell with your thoughts. You might start thinking about work, or you might start thinking about, what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. And as soon as that happens, you go back to your breathing and then go back to observing. They say that, it's a good starting point of going beyond your mind in that stillness, so that it's just you and your presence. You are your presence. And we'll see later that you are your consciousness as well. We'll see how it all fits in. Also, another thing is that, and again, this happens to experienced meditators as well, is to accept what you're going through. It could be feelings, it could be anger, it could be other feelings, and just witness, be a witness of those feelings. It could be anxiety, it could be something else. Um, and become conscious. So meditation is also about becoming conscious. I mean, they say that, when we meditate, and that we make our unconscious thoughts conscious. In other words, we bring those things that were in our conscious mind, if you like, sorry, unconscious mind, into conscious mind. And that's very useful, because they're quite often some of the baggage that we carry comes out, and it's like a sudden realization. For example, you might say, "Oh, I didn't realize that I was quite angry with that person." Although I've been saying, the ego has been saying, not I, yeah, I is the ego. Although I've been saying that, no, I don't have anger towards that person. It's okay. I mean, I'm nice to that person, but deep down there may have been some anger because something may have happened in the past. So it's really very, very useful and empowering to bring out from our unconscious into the conscious. Now, people often ask me and they say, "Well, how do I know that I'm meditating? I'm doing all those things. I close my eyes, I concentrate on my breathing. But, that little voice in me is saying that, am I doing the right thing?" So I said, well, depending on for how long you've been meditating, initially, you might feel that you don't want to be there. I mean, I've heard people saying, "Oh, waste of time," you know. I remember a long, long time ago when I was at university, someone invited me to a meditation session, and I said, "Oh no, come on! I mean, no, it's a waste of time. Come on! I mean, I don't want to close my eyes and just sit down for 20 minutes or half an hour and not do anything." Now, what I was saying is that leave me alone. I'm in the doing mode. Meditation is not about being in the doing mode. It's about being in the being mode. You are being, and so on. Also, one of the other ways of making sure that you're meditating effectively is that you begin to realize that you can separate yourself from your thoughts. We are not our thoughts. We are not our feelings. And lots of feelings will arise, very useful feelings, because our feelings are taking us somewhere. So without dwelling on them, just acknowledge them. And we'll talk more about creativity. But often, I used to find this with myself when I was delivering training programs and so on, that certain things come up. And after my meditation, I will write them down. And suddenly, I've got a training program that I was going to deliver in about 2 weeks' time, but I haven't had time to do any work on that because I may have been busy. So this is an example of creativity. We will talk more about that later. So, I mean, what some people do, and I have done it in the past, is that if you're working on something and during your meditation, something comes up and you say, "Oh wow, you know, this is where the answers are." You could say to yourself, "Okay, I'm going to take 3 minutes off from my meditation, write it down so that you don't forget, and then go back to it." For some people, it works. For other people, they say, "Well, you know, I don't want to be disturbed in my meditation." That's fine as well. Whatever works for you. Um, and another way of knowing that you are meditating is that you begin to feel sensations in your body. I usually feel sensations in my chest on the left-hand side. You can sense it, and sometimes in other parts of the body, in my legs, and so on. And that's a sign that yes, you are meditating, although it's an ongoing learning experience. There's no goal as such. We just be, we just sit and we meditate. And also you find that you know you kind of create while you're meditating, you create a passive attitude. There is nothing to achieve, just to sit. Zen Buddhists just talk about sitting. They don't even call it meditation. They just sit. They just say sitting. Of course, they're meditating, you know. And also, you know, we find that the quality of our thoughts change. Now, you know, we human beings, we go through quite a lot. I mean, you know, sometimes I'm watching news and suddenly I overcome with all these things that are happening in the world. You know, people are dying. Gaza, for example, you know, what's happening in Ukraine. And the outlet from them, there's nothing much we can do. Okay, we can send some money to them or whatever. We can pray for them. But more than that, we can't do anything. So meditation is a good way of clearing some of these things which may affect us. So besides creativity, we are able to develop positive develop quality in the way we think. And also your thoughts become less and less invasive, both during meditation and outside of meditation as well. We have a choice. Just finally, practice of meditation can help us with these things. Sleep, attention, self-regulation in where we manage our moods. Creativity, which we'll talk about in a minute. Managing stress and overall well-being. And there's quite a lot of scientific evidence that meditators not only look younger, but they don't visit their GPs often. Yeah. Because suffering becomes less. Physical suffering is there, of course. When we have a headache, we have a headache. But non-meditators, in my view, if I can put it that way, when something happens, they sense the mind, the egoic mind, the ego makes it much bigger than what it is. They start imagining, oh, what might happen to me if this carries on, and yeah, I may have to go to hospital, and this. So it actually cuts all those unhealthy thoughts. So that's meditating. That is the background to the two other subjects that we are going to be talking about. Okay, creativity. May I just say that human beings are creative, some more than others, because we have to go through a process of becoming more creative. And if we are a meditator, a regular meditator, it happens. So the first thing about creativity is that creativity happens when there is improved focus and concentration. And meditation helps to train the mind to focus on the present moment and eliminate noise or distractions. So if you are not distracted, if you focus, for example, after meditation, and in your day-to-day life as well, because meditation is not just about sitting for half an hour twice a day. It's about taking that experience in your daily life. And I'm really interested in this. And I've been kind of doing quite a bit of work on this and teaching the people who come on my sessions that it's important to take meditation in our daily life. And one way of doing this is to, from time to time, concentrate on our breathing. When we go for a walk, is to sort of, they call it walking meditation, and I take my group on walking meditation. It's just to observe. And as a result of that, creativity can happen. We start getting creative thoughts. So creativity uses the mind, and meditation helps to strengthen the mind to bring about more creativity. And they've done some work on this, particularly in the States. And if I can just look at my notes and just give you some examples, that what they found is that meditation or even mindfulness. To me, the difference between mindfulness and meditation is that mindfulness is a way of relaxing. Okay, it's a practice. Meditation, to me, goes beyond the mind. As I said to you earlier, that if we concentrate on our thoughts and let the thoughts pass while we are meditating, there is a chance that when we get used to it, we go beyond the mind. So that's the difference between mindfulness and meditation. We can discuss more later, if you like. So meditation switches on our divergent thinking. And that's where creativity happens. Because we associate one thing with the other. And if we really think about inventions in the past, I can't remember the name of the person who invented, airplanes and so on. The idea came from birds. They saw the birds flying, and this person, oh wow, if birds can fly, we can maybe have some kind of machine or whatever, engine, so that we can fly from A to B. So if you really think about inventors, Dyson, by the way, I mean, we all know about Dyson products, right? Hoovers and all sorts of other things. I mean, he's regarded as a creative genius. So many organizations actually provide time and space for the managers and staff to do creative thinking. And many of them, if not most of them, do this divergent thinking after meditation or after mindfulness exercise. And also there was some research done which came to the conclusion that meditation decreased participants' feelings of restlessness, nervousness, and irritation. Now, all these things come in the way of us becoming effective and becoming creative. So we can see the connection between meditation and creativity. Going on to consciousness. This is quite a difficult area because we can look at it from the point of view of being alert. That's what consciousness is. Being able to respond appropriately to the people and things around us. That's being conscious. We know who we are, where we live, and what time it is. This is all part of our consciousness. We are conscious about that. And we can go in the realm, I'm not going to do that. We can go in the realm of philosophy and psychology, and there is so much material available. I'm not going to go into that. Because it becomes an exercise in thinking, and I'm not particularly interested in that. Just want to read something out in the world of medicine. As I read that in medicine, a level of consciousness terminology is used to describe a patient's arousal and responsiveness, which can be seen as a continuum of states ranging from full alertness and comprehension through disorientation, delirium, loss of meaningful communication, and finally loss of movement in response to painful stimuli. So the medical world will know about this, and they will do something about it, and so on. Buddhists have talked about consciousness, and one Buddhist who I respect and I've read his books is Thich Nhat Hanh. You may have come across Thich Nhat Hanh. He's passed now. He was a Tibetan. He was a Zen Buddhist. He came from Vietnam, and he in his writing in his writings. He talks about conscious mind. When you're learning to drive, you use mind consciousness, you focus on skills. Once you can drive, you can use what he calls store consciousness. In other words, we store memory and information, etc., to drive. Then the mind wanders and is doing other things. So while we are driving, once we know where we are going, we don't need the mind. It's something else that helps us to drive and get there. We listen to music, we look around, and so on. And I was reading recently because I'm quite interested in what's happening in the world of AI, artificial intelligence. And in fact, some of the evidence suggests that artificial intelligence, particularly in driving cars, can be much more effective than human beings. We can reduce the number of accidents. Why? Because artificial intelligence doesn't get distracted. People do. And it has been proved that, people have accidents for a variety of reasons. They are distracted. They're overcome with anger or other negative feelings, and speed. They forget. They just put their foot down. AI wouldn't do that because they are programmed. So that is a kind of consciousness which is going to thirst upon us. How do we deal with it? I have no idea. Would I like to sit in a car which I'm not driving? I don't know. So much more to come in terms of consciousness, which the machines will have. Uh, and finally, I just want to finish by just briefly exploring Eckhart Tolle's ideas about consciousness. What he says, and I actually agree with him, that you don't have consciousness. You are consciousness. You yourself are consciousness. And it is not in the physical dimension. We have other things in the physical dimension. And consciousness emanates from all life. It emanates from the source. In other words, from God, whatever God means to you. So from that point of view, we are an emanation of God, the source itself. And it's quite interesting that David Lynch, who some of you may know, he was a very, very famous film director, and he actually says that okay, let me read his quotation. He says that what you gain in consciousness in your practice of meditation, he talks about transcendental meditation because he's into transcendental meditation in a big way, and he promotes that. So what you gain in consciousness in your practice of meditation, you will never lose. And full consciousness is enlightenment. In other words, if we were fully conscious, if we are at a stage of full consciousness, we are enlightened. So I'd like to stop here. There's much more, but I'd like to stop here. I think my half an hour is finished, nearly. So I'll be happy to answer any questions. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Harish Davda Master. First, let us show our appreciation with a round of applause. Please do it for half minute, that is 30 seconds, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. First, we have Dr. Jagannathan from Ilford, East London. Thank you, Doctor.
Greetings to everyone. Thank you, Harish, Davda, once again for another brief but inspiring talk. Funny enough, yesterday in evening, I think, about talking about spiritual tablets, the word creative came up, and today also you highlighted. Um, Funny enough, only this morning I was listening to somebody's discussion, and it says that what was said there was, instead of possibilities, we look everything as a problem. So, as you pointed out, usually the subconscious mind sees as problem, isn't it? Fight or flight. Whereas if you bring it to consciousness, then you look at the possibility. So,
Yes.
I think we are programmed to react, as I said, evolution through any animal kingdom, fight, flight mode. So that's subconscious in a way. So that's and when we look at it in that mode, you are looking at the problem. But when you look at the possibilities, then that's creativity. So I'm glad
Yes.
you brought all this into highlight. Other point you made was, which I didn't get it very clearly, but I thought being mode. Being is, what is being? Manifestation for the we must be human. We must behave as human, not as animal. So in other words, being is something to do with how we manifest, isn't it? I think that's been pointed out. I think you gave a talk one day on being. I think I remember it vividly. I really enjoyed that talk as well. Lastly, which is I am in agreement really, because meditation is actually respite. So the end of meditation, your mind can look at, in a divergent thinking. There's another good word in English called contemplation. And if you look at the translation, what is contemplation is deep meditation, it says. The first I was a bit alarmed by that. Why they put in Tamil translation as deep meditation for contemplation, because that's what you are highlighting. I don't want to take it all the time. Consciousness is a vast subject, so let's not go into that. So one more thing about driving. People often fall asleep on the wheel. And that's because of boredom, isn't it? So I won't have that.
Yes.
Anyway, I stop there. Once again, it's an interesting talk and inspiring. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your comments. Just wanted to say briefly that when my wife and I are going on long trips, we often stop several times and meditate, and that energizes us so that we don't, I don't fall asleep on the wheel, on the steering wheel.
And the passenger doesn't fall asleep either.
And the passenger doesn't fall asleep either. So yeah, it's interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Harish. Next, we have Babu Shanmunathan from Edgware, London. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Greetings to all. Davda, nice to see you again. Very timely speech. Thank you so much. We have been listening to these things time and time again here, but your presentation was exemplary. You briefly explained about what is meditation is all about. Then came creativity and consciousness. The thing is, you mentioned a few things about Dyson products and all these things. Yes, it does matter. If the product is good, I think last time also when you came here, you mentioned about Apple as well. That if the product is good, then this marketing is very easy and people will buy it. I know Dyson's is been copied by many others, nice similar things, vacuum cleaners and all, but it doesn't go that far as Dyson's products. Similar things applies to Apple as well. You mentioned it last time. You also mentioned something very interesting, that in your own experience, when you do meditation, you want to do a next target, say next week presentation, and you suddenly take a split break, half a minute or 1 minute, and then you make a note of it that you'll forget, and you go back to meditation again. That's a fantastic explanation. Disturbance can come. You just take a break from there and do, my meditation is broken, because of this and that and all that excuses. I don't accept that. We just do meditation, keep our mind as mindfulness, and then you carry on in your daily 24 hours. As you mentioned, when you're traveling, you stop and meditate. There's a selfishness there, you don't fall asleep, but there is also re-energizing. It's a very good example. I 100% will follow you on that one. It's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant quotation. Thank you. You also
Thank you
mentioned
so much.
about, sorry.
No, it's okay. Carry on, please.
Okay. And you also mentioned about the people who invent the plane. They are right brothers. I directly send you a message as well. Anyway, that's beside. What else I want to say? Yes, this is one thing I want to ask you actually. So, for example, we are captain of a ship, and you give orders to the sailors inside the engine room, and you are giving them instructions. The sailors inside the hull of the ship, they don't know where they are. They don't know their destination. They just carry on the captain's orders. If the captain's orders are wrong, the ship will have some disastrous result. If the captain's orders are right, they will do that. But if they don't follow the captain's orders, then captain has to recorrect the sailors, give the re-instruction to carry on doing the right thing. So in this example here, who is the subconscious mind and who is the subconscious mind, you think? I do not really get that point. I mean, captain.
Yeah, it depends on the context, I suppose. If I was the captain of a ship, I would certainly train my staff, train the crew on meditation. I would get them to meditate, and also to give them more and more responsibility. Because I think, from my experience of having worked as a management consultant and a trainer, much more training than consultancy, I found that although people follow orders, if you give them orders all the time, they get tired. And often people are crying out for responsibility. So my message to the managers who I was training was that, train your staff, give them more responsibilities. And so, that's the way, we can encourage people to do what we are good at. Because a good manager, and Japanese are very good at this, that, they want their people who they manage to be better managers than they themselves are. Because the world is changing and there are more ideas around. So by the time they retire, they will have a few people prepared who will be better managers than them, which I think is a wonderful way of developing people, looking at organizations and so on.
That's very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if I answered your question or if I threw some light on that.
Yeah, I was wondering, is the captain is conscious mind, the sailors there in the bunker, so in the ship underneath where they can't see anything, are the subconscious mind. I was trying to relate that one. And
I think it could also be that, I mean, let me use this analogy of the observer and the observed. Okay. So if we are observing something, so we are the observer and something is being observed. Now, in between the observer and the observed, there's quite a lot of noise. If we can get rid of that noise by being mindful, then we can have a fusion. One can have a fusion between the observer and the observed, and that's an effective way of doing things.
Yes, yes.
So if you're in a meeting, if a manager is in a meeting with staff members, doesn't matter how many, if the manager cuts down all this noise, or so and so was rude to me last time we had a meeting, or how dare they turn up late, etc., then the manager is not going to be effective. The anger will be running the manager part of the time. So, so if the manager is able to cut the noise down, so there's the
Yes.
observer, who is the manager.
Observe.
The observed is the group of people
Mm.
who he or she is having a meeting with.
Thank you. Others are
Yeah.
waiting as well. You remind me one thing about the noise when you said a question came to me as well. But you also said most experienced meditators, their thoughts will come. In other words, bad feelings also like anxiety, anger, things like that will come. But then you correct yourself. That's a fantastic. That reminds me a question. Some people, so not some people actually. You go to a marketplace and there are a lot of noise there, and then you practice meditation there. Get in whatever the noise coming from there, and trying to get rid of that. And this is also some kind of practice. I have read it and heard. So thank you so much overall. It's very beautiful as usual.
Thank you. Thank
Hope
you.
to see you on the 2000th day. Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks so much. Next, we have Arundhati Master.
And
from
greetings,
Pune.
masters. Thank you very much, Harish Devda, for explaining to us what is the difference meditation, creativity, and consciousness. And what you said is managing stress and overall well-being is meditation cuts all the unhealthy thoughts. And creativity happens for when we do regular meditation, and you are specifically mentioning about walking meditation. Then when you do walking meditation, we gain more creativity. And I would like to ask you, because I understand most about meditation creativity, but consciousness and distractions, can you please touch on that? And because consciousness, you said, I want a bit clarity on that, please.
Sure. Okay, just as I was saying earlier, it's a very difficult area. Quite a lot of research has been done. In my view, people haven't come up with a conclusive answers about consciousness. My view is that it is important to know that there is a dimension other than the human dimension, and that's emanating from the source. To me, that source is something bigger than human beings, God, whatever your definition of God is. So if we focus on that, then I think we begin to realize that we are the consciousness. It's like the as Eckhart Tolle says, that you have the sun, and then there are rays of the sun. So we are like the rays of the sun. We are like the emanation of something much higher than us. Super consciousness, if you want to call it. I call it God, and so on. Now, some people will say, well, would you then say that a ray, and I think Eckhart Tolle actually explains very, very beautifully in one of his videos. I will send this video to Mr. Raja, and maybe Mr. Raja can send it to
thank
other
you.
people. It is on consciousness, and he clarifies quite a few things as far as consciousness is concerned. So more than that, apart from the fact that we are conscious beings, because we are able to see things. We are able to do things in our day-to-day life, and that consciousness actually helps us. But there's a deeper consciousness, which is that we are connected to the source. And the more conscious we become, as David Lynch says, the more we are working towards our enlightenment, whenever that enlightenment is going to be. I mean, I'm not bothered about that, whether I become enlightened or not. I just want to live my life now in such a way that I enjoy life and I connect with the people around me, starting with my family and friends and so on.
Yeah,
I don't know if I answered your question.
mindfulness and consciousness. What is the difference? Mindfulness, when you do something, you do mindfully.
Yes.
And where that concession, it's very difficult for me to say that word also. Consciousness, how do we, mindfulness, and what is the difference between that?
Mindfulness is doing things intentionally.
Intentionally.
Consciousness is emanating from outside of our daily reality. Okay? This is the second part of consciousness, yeah? The first part of consciousness is that we are aware. So that links in with mindfulness, that we are aware. And by focusing on what we are doing, we are more aware. So there's a level of awareness. Now that awareness is different from the second part of awareness, which Eckhart Tolle and others are talking about, which is much more, if you like, in the spiritual realm. It's much more our inner being. When we go within, we often realize. Let me give you an example. Say you decide to do something, and then something tells you that that's not a good idea, and it's beyond the logic. Okay, it's beyond the logic. Maybe that's where we have our moral compass. That's the only way I can explain. But consciousness in itself, the second type of consciousness that we talked about, it is very difficult to get our head around it, and I'm still learning.
Yeah, it's a very vast, very difficult to understand. I try to, get, because meditation and creativity, you can imagine what is it, and, but this, anyway, thank you so much. You sent that, I want to read.
Okay, I will send you a video. You watch that video.
Yeah, I like to know more about it. Yeah, thank you so much.
I'll send you a video.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Nandini, Yogadishwar Master from Melbourne, Australia.
Okay. What about Lingaratna Master? Okay. Greetings. After me? Oh.
Lingaratna.
Sorry, I thought we have no time to talk about this. Well, many people are waiting. Anyway, quickly, let me thank Harish Davda for your inspirational speech. And I thought I can share more experience, but due to time restrictions, let me say my experience on meditation. So I'm reading, when I read a book for about 100 to 100 pages a day or something. So you can't grasp anything, but a lot of information comes, but you have to filter it, and I had to write everything in one page because to deliver speech. So what I do is I read everything. When you read, I feel that everything is important. So I can't highlight everything, highlighting. So when I do the meditation, so immediate after the meditation, I get the summary of what I learned. That's experience still I have. And because I learned it from, it was said by Dr. Arthur Jumsai from NASA. And when they want to write an equation to land an equipment on the Mars, he sat for about 1 hour meditating and got up and he wrote it. Thank you very much.
Right.
Many people
You're welcome. You're welcome. If I can just quickly make a comment that, not many people realize this, but meditation as a discipline, and after a while, it doesn't even become discipline. It's something that you do. It's just part of you. It's very close to your heart. It's so powerful in living your life purposefully, and we get quite a lot of joy out of it, in spite of the fact that there are so many negative things that we are bombarded with. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have iPhone.
Thank you.
May I know your name and 1 second. May I know your name and where are you from? Yeah, first time you have come to a Zoom.
Yes. Are you speaking to me, sir?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
you must.
Hello, and I hope everybody's well. My name is Saranjit, and I'm calling from the UK.
Okay,
And
thank
it's
you.
my first joining this amazing spiritual group. So thank you. I really am so grateful. So Harish, it was a really thought-provoking discussion that you've shared with us all, and I really want to give you a heartfelt thanks. But there's just two things that I'm curious to ask you, if I may. So the first thing is, what's something that you wished you'd learned earlier? And the second question is, that something that you're trying to learn now, in the here and now. I find it's a great opportunity for me to learn from grandmasters such as yourself. So I hope you don't mind my directness in wanting to ask that question. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. So the first question is, what did I learn?
What's something that you wished you'd learned earlier?
Oh, right.
in your
Okay.
life? Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
fantastic what you talked about. You know, I've made a lot of.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
thank you.
I don't
Thank
know. It's a very certain question. I suppose I would have liked to learn to play a musical instrument. I did start with a violin, but I was already,
yes,
I mean, I was already an adult by then.
sure.
I was in my early 30s, but I wish that I had started learning to play a musical instrument
Indeed.
when I was
Okay.
when I was a child, for
Yes.
example, and
Oh,
so on. And
yeah.
because I am into music, I love classical music.
Oh, wonderful.
I love, a variety of music and
Yes.
so on. I listen to music every day. So that's
Oh,
one
that's
thing.
wonderful.
And what's the
That's
next question?
So then the other one, Harish, and then there's another one as well, if I hope you don't mind my throwing it in, but very quickly. So the second one was something you're trying to learn now, the here and now.
Okay, well, I'm kind of learning to go deeper into my meditation practice and the topics which are related to meditation. And I'm writing as well, but I'm not really goal oriented as such. I go with the flow, and I've done so many things in my life, and there aren't all that many things that I want to do. I just want to enjoy living my life with my wife and remain connected with my son and my daughter. And we love traveling and we like going into different cultures. So
that's
yeah, we are very happy, I would say. I hope that answers your question.
It does, and happiness obviously is a state of mind as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's within us all. It's an inside job, Harish, which is wonderful, and I'm so
Yes,
blessed
absolutely,
to meet with
absolutely.
you. Yeah, and I hope that you were all well and you're going to enjoy the rest of your day doing amazing vegetarian cooking. So you also mentioned during your talk that you were working on some project or a presentation the next 2 weeks. Is that to do with our group, or is it to do with your work? Or did I misunderstand what you said?
Oh no, with another group. I do small projects quite a lot
I
of the
see.
time.
Right.
Quite a lot of them are voluntary projects, but I do coaching as well. And in
I
my
see.
coaching, I use Enneagram, which is a system of psychological types.
Wonderful,
so,
wonderful. Okay, really fortuitous, because I hope you don't mind my directness, as it was, but I'm always a firm believer, if you don't ask, you don't get. It's always in the delivery. I'd be really interested, if at all possible, to have a coaching session with you. I think it would be a unique learning opportunity. It's something for you to think about. I can always pop my details in the chat or whatever, totally understand. But I've got a lot to learn, and I learn by asking questions, the right people, the right time to get the right
Excuse me?
results, the right knowledge. I hope
The
that
time has come for the next session. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
I
so
think
much.
yeah,
Mars,
I will send you details. I'll send you details. Oh, you can get my details from Mr. Raja.
Thank you so
And
much.
I'll send you details about my coaching programs. Okay?
Wonderful. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Nandini,
Thank you.
Nandini Master, next. Okay.
I think time has come. Anyway, I explained. Thank you, Harish, the master. My understanding, the consciousness is a true essence of yourself. Is that correct? So we and universe are same, the consciousness. Yeah, already Tirumular already said, universe and our body are same, whatever in the universe, the body also has. So yeah, thank you for your speech.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Next,
thank
we
you.
have
There's just one thing, if I can mention very quickly, that the more the more we have consciousness within us, I mean, we are consciousness anyway, but more we become aware of it, the less fear we will have. I was watching a program recently, and this Zen Buddhist said that he doesn't fear death. And to me, that was quite profound. Okay, it was a program.
thanks very much. Next, we have Ken Cognizant from
All
Chi.
right, please. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you. Due to lack of time, I will make it quicker. Initially you mentioned about the doing mode and the being mode, but in the day-to-day language, when we ask, can we do meditation? That's the way we put it. I mean, so why we do so? Please.
Okay. So the difference between doing and being is
although you are saying doing is not doing is the meditation, but in the day-to-day language we say, can we do meditation? That's the way we normally speak.
It's the language that we use. It's there's nothing to be done. There was a very famous Buddhist monk who said that, when you are meditating, there is nowhere to go and nowhere to come from. In other words, it's here and now. Now, if we can live our life just a little bit, about 5% every day, we would be happier, and people around us will be happier as well. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Marsai Master. We don't have time for translation. You can do it maybe after 2 weeks. It's a very good speech. You can translate.
Okay. Greetings to everybody. Firstly, I would like to thank for your informative and empowering talk. I just want to touch on one thing, consciousness. Actually, according to my understanding, is we have the use of 5 senses. When we use the 5 senses, that's the state of consciousness. So that's the understanding I have. Because when we see, listen, or do all those things, that is part of consciousness. Thank you for the. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Next, there are a few things. Babu Sharma, can you read the chat box if you don't mind? We can start this one late.
Yeah, sure. Okay. The first one is from Yogi Nagendran. Awareness leads to mindfulness. That leads to be in a full consciousness can be called meditative state. That is the path to enlightened stateness, I suppose. This is what Eckhart and Kuladasa said. Beautifully narrated. Touched by you, Mr. and Mrs. Davda. Thank you so much. Please do come again. Looking forward to. Galaxy. Actually, he has mentioned the following message. Thank you. Thank you very much for both meditation and the talk. Really interesting. Thank you. Those are the 2 messages. Thank you.
Good. Baba Master, thank you very much. Now we are going to the next session. Now, where is Nandini Master? He's not here.
Nandini Pudama. YouTube, I have to stop the YouTube and...
No. I didn't give any host. Now only I'm going to give a host. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Manikandan, I'm going to give you a host now. Thank you.
Audio.